Hey guys, Marcello here with Wandering Trader. Today we're going to be talking about the things you need to know before visiting South America. We're here in the beautiful Singapore. This is the Marina Bay Sands Resort, so obviously we're not in South America, but I still wanted to do this video because I've been to every country so far in South America, including the 3 countries that most people don't know anything about, which is Guyana, Suriname, and French Guiana. And I think there's a lot of misconceptions about what you guys think of Latin America or South America in general. So I do have my notes here, so I'm going to be looking over to the side. The first thing I want to mention is it's not as dangerous as you guys think it is. I think that especially Colombia, and even on the reverse side, you know, people not thinking a place like Brazil is dangerous or Argentina. A general rule of thumb, I think, is that it's not really as dangerous as most people would want you to think it is. You know, I live in Medellin. For those of you guys that don't know, Medellin supposedly is still one of the most dangerous cities in the world. I think that a lot of people still consider that Medellin is extremely dangerous because the only thing that they know or remember was the drug wars with Pablo Escobar. So it's not as dangerous at all as you guys think it is. I think for the most part, there's actually some cities in the United States that are more dangerous than Medellin or some cities in Latin America. You know, Chicago, for example, would be a case. Detroit would be another case as well. And we might have to go running here in a second because I don't know if you guys can see that torrential rain cloud above me. But so that's the first thing. Obviously, keep an eye out. You know, it's not like it's the safest place in the world, like I don't know, Singapore or some other cities in Europe like Frankfurt. But you know, don't do stupid things, that common sense things that you wouldn't do in a random city in the United States. In order to get around, most people get around with buses, okay? Especially in the south, between Argentina, Brazil, Uruguay. It is going to start just pouring down. So just keep an eye open. That's generally how people go around, is buses. Over the last few years, there's been a lot of low-cost airlines that have come up. I forget the name of the one in Mexico, but I think it's Viva Aereo. In Colombia, it's Viva Colombia, and that same company, which is by Ryanair in Europe, is actually going to start opening. In Peru as well. This is going to be challenging. Thank you. In Chile, there's really only 2 options, which is very challenging. So I hope you guys appreciate the video. I hope you guys can hear me with the wind. You have Sky Airline in Chile, there's only 2 airlines in Chile, which is Sky Airline and LATAM, which is the big conglomerate in Latin America. So keep that in mind. But for the most part, before and even now, the general rule of thumb when traveling between countries, I hope we don't get blown off of this. Should we keep going?
Yes.
Is the buses, right? And then obviously you have the cheapy airlines, which you guys can purchase as well. It's not that dangerous from a solo female traveler's perspective. My girlfriend, obviously, I met her traveling solo through all of Latin America. She started in Mexico, going all the way down to Colombia. She's still going through the rest of South America, and it's really not as dangerous as you guys think. I think that most of us think that everybody in Latin America is trying to rob us or trying to take advantage of us, and I think for the most part, the people in Latin America are very warm people. They're very kind. They're very much willing to help. Obviously, you have a few bad apples that are ruin everything for everybody, but I think from the most part that you know, it's really not that bad, and I think that you shouldn't shouldn't be afraid to get to know people. You shouldn't be afraid to kind of reach out and meet the locals. I definitely believe that you guys should do that because they're amazing people. They're amazing, amazing people. The food, it's not just rice, beans, and eggs. Why did I put eggs? It's not just rice and beans. This is very challenging. So it's not just rice and beans. There's a lot of other things like fried pork fat and all kinds of other stuff. So I definitely recommend trying some of the local food. Be a bit careful in places like Bolivia because they don't have the same standard of let's say quality of food or standards of cleanliness as in other places, so keep that in mind. A few of the best things to do, Medellin, Colombia is a city that you have to visit. It's not that popular when it comes to seeing things, right? So there's not that many things to see, but it's a great city to experience, an absolute amazing city to experience, and the locals are amazing. I recommend Argentina. Argentina is a country that literally has everything, absolutely everything. You can get to every major place or every major attraction within 2 or 3 hours, especially a 2 or 3 hour flight. Everything from deserts in the north to penguins, animals, glaciers in the south. A great city like Buenos Aires in the middle. I definitely recommend it, especially now that it's a little bit safer with Macri in there. Other than that, the salt flats in Bolivia, unique experience. Make sure you go during the rainy season. Machu Picchu in Brazil, incredible.
Machu Picchu's in Peru.
Not in Peru. Did I say Bolivia?
I said Brazil.
I said Brazil. So Machu Picchu in Brazil.
Machu Picchu is in Peru. Wondering
Machu, I keep
traitor.
thinking of Brazil. Machu Picchu in Peru. All right. Definitely overrated, but for a good reason, because once you get there, you will be underwhelmed, you'll be overwhelmed. It's an incredible place. Other than that, we have Patagonia in Chile and Argentina, absolutely beautiful. And I definitely recommend Brazil because, you know, Carnival, Rio de Janeiro, the beaches are absolutely incredible as well. A few things, most people nowadays have Wi-Fi. Yeah, so it's starting to rain, so let me try to finish up quick. Most people have Wi-Fi, so you won't necessarily have to worry about getting a local chip. But if you are going to, most times you can just go and get a chip with a passport at a fancy store. I don't recommend you guys use roaming, but most of the carriers work throughout all of Latin America. And the plugs, the countries in the north, so a lot of Brazil, Colombia, Peru, Ecuador, all the way down to Chile, they use American plugs. And then Uruguay, Argentina, and parts of Brazil use European plugs. And it's starting to rain, we gotta go by.